I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. Such a pleasure to meet you. Well, we spoke earlier today. How does it feel to be here tonight after the long journey you've taken to make this incredible film?
It's really, really, really strange and surreal. It's like a wedding day. I think it's the closest thing you can, when you try and talk to friends about it. It's like a wedding day, but the weird thing today is my bride hasn't shown up because of the actor strike. So this is the actors that should be here but can't be, and they'll be doing all these interviews, and I wouldn't have to do any of them, and so I kind of miss them. But yeah, it's weird. You're sort of handing over your baby to the world or letting it go. I don't know which, but it's a strange thing. It's where you have to let go of the film and it becomes everyone else's movie now.
If you could tell us a bit about this incredible cast, I mean, from Alison Janney, Gemma Chan, but right at the centre of it, this newcomer Madeline and John David Washington. Looks like you put him through the ringer, both on the emotional side and the physicality. What was it like working with them?
Oh, it was just an amazing cast. I mean, maybe Alison Janney, what we did when we were writing the screenplay, we took a leaf out of the book of, I think one of the best characters ever in cinema, female characters, is Ripley from Aliens. And I heard that they wrote Alien originally as a man. And so we wrote all of our roles as male, and then at the end we took the best ones and flipped them to female. And so Alison Janney did this incredible, unique sort of take on what would be normally the sort of role that would go to someone like Bruce Willis or someone. And so I think it's quite an interesting version of that kind of character. And then John David and Madeline. I mean, Madeline's like, I don't know what's going to happen to her after this film. But I wish I had shares in, or I wish I was Maddie's agent or something, because she's just going to take off into the stratosphere. She did such an amazing performance. And John David Washington, he basically had to come in, and as well as develop this amazing relationship with the little kid, had to give this heroic performance that also showed emotion and cracks in the armor and vulnerability. I really didn't want to do one of those movies where the hero's a tough guy. I don't relate to that kind of person, and so a lot of actors won't really want to show that other side to a broken character. And but John David was totally up for it, so he went through thick and thin, never complained once. He's just a superstar.
And in terms of the themes in there, obviously we're talking about AI, and it can be sort of a metaphor of othering other people, so the threat of actual AI. Also this fairy tale, this reluctant father, who's kind of looking for his love, but in the end it's a love for a child that shines through.
Yeah, the whole thing is a fairy tale to some extent. I mean, I never expected AI to be as prominent in the news. I started writing this 4 or 5 years ago, and it was just like this distant dream, like flying cars and stuff, and then suddenly it's become this reality. And I mean, it's really helped the movie in the sense that the movie didn't shy away from the sort of ethical questions about, are they real? Can we turn them off? What if we don't like what they're doing? Is that does it make us as bad as them if we were to, get rid of them all? Is that genocide, or is that just turning off a computer? And so all those sort of things that are now part of everyday conversation, when we started, was just pure science fiction. So it's very surreal to be here today. I set the movie in 2070, but I feel like I should have picked 2024, because it feels like it's right around the corner.
And obviously it has to be seen on the biggest screen possible. How epic, the world building, the look and feel of it.
Yeah, definitely. It's in this ratio called 276 to 1, which is like two TVs, two 16:9 TVs like you have at home, put together. And they haven't released a film like that since The Hateful Eight. And before then it was films like Ben-Hur and stuff like that. And so you have to see it on the biggest screen possible. It's not made for TV, no offense to TVs. Some of my best friends are televisions, but they're just not good enough, to be honest. I don't know. It seems to keep happening, doesn't it? I'm not doing it on purpose too much. I think it's just every movie, allegedly, is like an inner and an outer journey, right? You've got the characters, and then you've got the world. And I just like really high stakes situations. I obviously grew up loving science fiction. And so I always end up in these apocalyptic scenarios with a central relationship. I don't mean to. I'll try and think of something else. But I kind of love it. So my favourite films growing up were that kind of thing. So I'm just trying to aspire to get even slightly close to some of your heroes kind of thing. But with Madeline, the little kid who's the AI kid in the movie, and John David, it was really important they got along. And Madeline's very shy. She's super smart, but very quiet, rightly so. And so it was really hard to become like a friend. And I got halfway there, I think, as the director. But John David, he like dived right in, and he became her big brother. And it was so sweet. Things would happen like on set where, you know, when you're doing a scene and the actor needs a little moment, you need to go over in the corner and just like get Miss Alice to a point where they're emotional or something. She would see he was upset and she would go over to him, hold his hand, and try and talk to him about like the toy that she had, and he would just sit down on one knee and talk about the toy, and it was like such a nice relationship they had the whole time. And we got to go to Disneyland just now for her birthday, and there was a big reunion. We hadn't seen each other in like about a year, so yeah, it's lovely. I mean, it's all on screen. Like they did just phenomenal in this film. I think I can't take any credit for it. It has really good colours. This is going to be boring for a lot of people, right? It has really good colour science. So this intones versus the world is you can really bend it to what looks like a Kodak film stock very easily, and it shoots at 12,800 ISO, so you can film in